vendor Kiteworks that we have today will present secure data exchange for all data you share, send, and use. If I would need to tell more about this presentation, I would say that if someone in your organization ever asked, can we just send this over WeTransfer? This presentation is relevant for you. So
Correct. Leave more.
the stage is yours, Carl. I will mute myself and turn off the video.
All right. So you already did an introduction. So this presentation will be about secure data exchange for all the data you share, send, and use. And who I am, my name is Ralf Böhler. You probably already heard it. I'm from Germany, Frankfurt, and I'm a channel sales engineer for Kiteworks. You can reach me under this email if you have other questions after this presentation. And a little bit about Kiteworks, what the company is doing and when we were founded. So Kiteworks existed since a long time, since 1999. Back then, we focused on managed file transfer and now on private data exchange through multiple channels, but more on that in the presentation. Our headquarters is in San Mateo, but you will also see on the next slide on the global operations that we are a worldwide company. And currently, we have 500 plus employees. We are fast growing, acquiring companies in different markets, but also companies where we integrate their technology in our product, like, for example, secure web forms or Silver with their email security technology. We have around 1,500 enterprise customers worldwide and 100 million users. So we are well established worldwide and also in the European market. We are certified by numerous certifications that you can see here, and we focus on helping our customers to meet many different compliance and regulations from CMMC 2.0. So if you are a contractor of the DoD, but also GDPR in the United States, HIPAA, PCI DSS, NIS2, or DORA. And next slide, a little bit about where we are located. So the main HQ is in San Mateo, but we also do have an EMEA HQ in Switzerland. So the IP belongs to the HQ in EMEA and also the HQ in the United States and also Singapore. So we are a European company, also with leadership in Europe. And there are also some other HQs from companies we acquired. For example, Silver OwnCloud belongs to us, and 123 Form Builder, as well as Dracoon. I have to move this a little bit here. And so I want to present a slide because these are the challenges companies have with private data exchange and silos. What do I mean with silos? I mean different products for different channels. And many of the companies have disparate systems for email, file sharing, SFTP, MFT, web forms. So it's really hard to have the visibility there. So 57% of the organizations cannot even track, control, or report on their exchange of private data. So it's of course a huge risk because you don't know actually who saw your sensitive data. You can't audit it. And yeah, you have also problems on tracking and reporting on it once it leaves the company. So Kiteworks also has a solution for that. Only 16% can do that. So we see acting in silos is not the preferred way a company should handle the sensitive data. And on the next slide, I already mentioned it. The huge problem is security in complex data ecosystems, but also compliance in data ecosystems. And most companies have these multiple data exchange systems. So for file sharing, email, MFT, they use SFTP servers, they use web forms, all kind of different solutions there. And each sharing method operates with a really different security models and also visibility levels. It's really hard to combine all these logs and the audits to see where your data travels. And on top of that, companies have a data sprawl. They have databases that move credentials, contracts, log files, financial data, all this data that is sensitive, that resides either in Microsoft or in non-Microsoft environments. We say here, especially Microsoft, because we can nicely integrate in existing solutions like SharePoint or OneDrive and put this security layer and control layer on top of it to have policies with who you can share your data and make it more secure. And the third point is that you have a lot of fragmented data stakeholders you exchange data with, vendors, suppliers, auditors, maybe also internally. And like the slide shows, it's kind of a mess in a company. They have a lot of data exchange systems, a lot of different data types lying around in different systems, and also fragmented data stakeholders. And Kiteworks comes with a solution to that, and that's the so-called PDN in short. It's a private data network. And it is one solution that unifies data exchange systems. It controls the data that's flowing between the systems, but also to the outside world, and can onboard the stakeholders in one system. And with that, with this unified compliance controls, and through this unified communication channels, and also the centralized audit logs, the automated compliance reporting and pre-configured templates for multiple regulations like GDPR and HIPAA. And this real-time compliance monitoring and automated policy enforcement ensures consistent regulatory adherence across all the data sharing activities. The platform implements end-to-end encryption and also data layer zero trust, and also the centralized governance and tracking and reporting through all these channels. So email, file sharing, managed file transfer, Kiteworks acting as an SFTP server, or either SharePoint that is connected to Kiteworks, where the data is sent then through Kiteworks. At the core of our private data network is the advanced policy engine. So we have runtime policies that are aligned to the NIST cybersecurity framework. And these are context-aware permissions based on the triangulation of user, data, and action. So we can govern all these channels with this policy and can, for example, block a specific user group or user that's accessing data or try to share it and then have a restriction, for example. Because a user got access based on his role to a folder, let's say to a folder with M&A data, it must not be that he can do everything with the data. Maybe he should view it, but not be able to share it. So we can limit that through these runtime policies. And with these policies, we prevent control blind spots. We can also track what kind of data flows through the system. And in a second, I talk more about how we can actually tag data or use Microsoft Information Protection Tag to see what's happening with the sensitive data and also apply risk policies upon that. And because of that, we can automate the governance without sacrificing business processes. Kiteworks automatically enforces the right level of protection based on the roles and also the runtime policy. And these allow your necessary business processes by blocking high-risk activity. And here is, for example, a rule that says when the content is any file, it doesn't matter which one, and is added by this domain, then we can apply a tag automatically through Kiteworks. This tag is CUI for controlled unclassified information. That's needed for the CMMC 2.0 regulation, where you shouldn't have local copies of data. So we can tag it with this tag. And if Kiteworks sees this tag and somebody of the TS clearance profile tries to access it, then we can set up a restriction for using Safe Edit. The Safe Edit is our next-gen DRM solution, where a user can edit a file without possessing it. And how do we do it? We have a Windows server running next to Kiteworks in your network, and we video stream the editing of the content with any application that is associated with the file type. So user can edit it but not download it or send it to somebody else. So we have the control over it and also the visibility, and it never leaves the organization. And on top there, you see the role-based policies and the roles. You can invite a user to a folder. So you can invite them as a manager, for example, that can manage the folder, invite other users to it, but also a collaborator that can edit files, can delete them, can upload, and do most of the things the manager can do. And then really specific roles like downloader is only limited to downloading files. The viewer can only view files, and then we can also have like a restriction for safe view, that you can view data in Kiteworks, but watermarked and can't download the files. But that's really nice. And also the upload only role. And because we can not only set tags, but we can also read Microsoft Information Protection tags or Azure Information Protection tags that are set by Purview or by the DSPM solutions. DSPM stands for Data Security Posture Management. And there are more than these solutions, but what they do is data discovery. So they can discover data in different repositories. So an SFTP server, your file share, OneDrive for SharePoint. They find the data, catalog it, they can classify it, and then they can put Microsoft Information Protection tags around it. For example, if they see PCI data in the files. When this tagged data files come to Kiteworks, our data policy engine sees these tags, and then we can build a risk policy around this tag. For example, if PCI data is exchanged with externals, then we need approval, for example. Or we can completely limit that company internal data that's high confidential shouldn't be able to be moved outside of the company. Can also connect them with DLP solutions in Kiteworks. So the company's DLP solutions risk policies apply to the files that are exchanged to Kiteworks, and the DLP can then block the data sharing if needed. Everything is logged in an audit log in Kiteworks, but can also be forwarded to a Splunk or any SIEM of your choice to do some further analysis on the data. And when it runs through the data policy engine and you can actually share data with somebody, then you can use your Kiteworks channels to exchange the data via email, MFT, and SFTP, but also via sharing, collaboration, or DRM solution, or of course via APIs. You can connect to third-party systems. So machine-to-machine communication is also possible together with the risk policy. Kiteworks covers the outbound and inbound. And for that, we have, for the email protection, we have the email protection gateway that monitors all the email traffic to identify conditions to trigger control policies for the sensitive data in transit. So we can do SMIME and PGP encryption seamlessly for the user. So the user doesn't even notice that the data is encrypted at a gateway level. We, of course, have the file share and transfer. So secure file sharing, that's simple, controlled, and collaborative, and purposely built for sensitive data. So you actually can report up on it and create audits. And also the secure web forms. So this came really recently through an acquisition of 123 Form Builder. So right now we have a really easy drag and drop builder inside Kiteworks, and that is used for the online collection of business critical data that requires regulatory compliance. So it is secure, it is compliant, and can be used with the whole Kiteworks PDN system. And prevent data loss through channel switching tactics. What do we mean by that? So careless stakeholders can bypass single channel controls. For example, when they are blocked from sharing via file share or transfer system, they switch to emails, and with the Kiteworks unified approach, and we ensure the consistent protection regardless of which channel is used. So maybe file sharing or email, we can cover it all. We also do meet the regulatory requirements for bidirectional data exchange. So compliance frameworks require protecting the sensitive data both entering and also leaving the organization. And Kiteworks multi-channel coverage addresses these requirements with robust controls for email encryption, secure form submission, and also spam controlled file sharing. And we also eliminate security silos, so managing separate tools for email protection, form submission, file sharing creates these dangerous governance gaps where you can't control everything. And Kiteworks provides this unified control framework that ensures that consistent policies across all inbound and outbound data movement is covered. And here are some slides how it looks in Kiteworks. And yeah, on top of that, the channels we have the seamless integration of the key stakeholders, like your employees, your partners, contractors, or investors within a secure data exchange and collaborative network. So you can onboard them really easily without any administrative burden. So users can invite externals via email through the platform or just send them an email through their usual email client like Outlook, and then they get onboarded on the system if they are an allowed domain or not blocked, then it's easily possible. And on top of that, we have the immutable audit log for compliance. So you can eliminate the blind spots in your sensitive data ecosystem. You can report upon the data that is exchanged and what kind of data when it is tagged. So you see actually who viewed your sensitive data, who downloaded, who interacted with the data. We can also improve the compliance with this irrefutable evidence. So regulations like GDPR and CMMC require proof for appropriate data handling, and with Kiteworks comprehensive immutable audit logs, you can provide that verifiable evidence needed to demonstrate compliance and avoid costly penalties across multiple frameworks. And also, we can precisely detect and investigate security incidents. So when a data breach is suspected, every moment counts. And with Kiteworks tamper-proof audit logs, you provide security teams with complete visibility, who accessed what data, when and how, enabling rapid investigation and also effective incident response. And here a few slides on how it looks in Kiteworks. Of course, the complete audit log, it consists of user events, admin events, and can be exported to a CM of choice. We have tracked activities on a folder level, so a manager or collaborator can see what other users accessed on a folder, but also on email. They can also revoke an email when it's sent as a Kiteworks secure email. And we also have a tracking dashboard. You can view really easily if your emails got viewed. And to put it into one sentence, what the private data network is, in short PDN, it's one platform for unified control, tracking, and protection, private sharing, access, and collaboration. And this slide shows how we help our customers to demonstrate compliance with numerous regulations like PCI DSS, CMMC 2.0, and GDPR. And on the right side, our security standards we are validated by. And Kiteworks secure content communication channels, so from file sharing to Kiteworks acting as an SFTP server, but can also connect to SFTP servers, so we can share the data through Kiteworks. Artificial intelligence, so we integrate now nicely with the MCP protocol, so LLMs or AI agents can use Kiteworks and upload data to Kiteworks, but we can also, with the newest release, create web forms with Claude or Claude Code. And also Kiteworks can act as an AI gateway where all the data that is ingested to an AI pipeline runs through Kiteworks, so we can control the data that's actually ingested into training data or also a vector database. Email, we have an email protection gateway where we can do ESMA and PGP encryption, but also having the choice to give the user email and attachment via web portal. Secure web forms, managed file transfer if you need to transfer data from, for example, AWS to Azure, or from SFTP server to SFTP server, or from one Kiteworks deployment to another. You can use managed file transfer. And of course, we can can connect to APIs. On next-gen digital rights management, we have safe edit, so you can safely edit files without processing them. We have a safe view, so a view-only mode where users see watermarked documents and can view them in Kiteworks. We have audit logs that I already mentioned, tracking on the user side, and the controls, the risk policies with our data policy engine, and reporting if you need scheduled reports. And some might ask, like, how do we deploy Kiteworks? Kiteworks comes in a hardened virtual appliance without admin access. We can't access the data. So you have the data, you're the data owner, and yeah, you have the data sovereignty. And we do end-to-end encryption, so every file is encrypted on the storage itself, and we have storage encryption. And Kiteworks also comes with embedded firewalls and also an antivirus that scans every file that comes in. But you can also connect your own antivirus that's already existing in your company. And for Kiteworks deployment options, so like I already said, we can deploy it on-premise, so Hyper-V, VMware, and Nutanix, but also in AWS and Azure. But even if you deploy it to AWS, your data is secure, the data is encrypted, and there's no access on the virtual appliance itself. So neither we or the hyperscalers can actually access your data. We provide this hardened virtual appliance. This can also run in an air-gapped environment, and we have one-click updates. On an air-gapped environment, you would get an offline update file, and there's also optional FIPS 143 validation, so only the certified ciphers, encryption ciphers are then used. We can also do secure cloud hosting. This is where Kiteworks provides the infrastructure on AWS. On the region you decide. It is a single tenant because we don't believe in multi-tenant. They had way too many breaches in the past on hyperscalers where hackers jump from one tenant to another and exploited data. And it's also the hardened application that's deployed there. There's also secure cloud hosting with premium support. So in this case, we do the patching and the update and provide the infrastructure. You get named service reps that know your deployment, do deployment review every year, and you have also enhanced SLAs. The fourth deployment option here is FedRAMP IRAP authorized cloud hosting that provides a cloud hosting for the US government, and we are validated by government third-party security audits that we can do that. And yeah, a little bit about our team. We have Stephanie Gord. Unfortunately, she's not here today because she's in sick leave. She's our regional sales manager. And we have Mike de Mole. He's our strategic alliance manager in the region. And then me, the channel sales engineer, supporting the partners and also customers in the region. And yeah, meet us at the CyberSec Roadshow 26. We are there in all three countries and also having a keynote on the conference. So if you have any questions now, you can, of course, write us an email or to Hermitage, or you can meet us at the roadshow. And yeah, thank you for listening. And now off to QA.
Thank you, Ralph. That was
You're welcome.
a really extensive solution for data security from different angles, but all in one place. Now let's move on to questions. You talked a bit about deployment, and the first question is related to that. So, what are the most common challenges your customer face before they start using Kiteworks?
Yeah.
How does your solution address them?
Like I already said, we have probably around three main challenges customers have. There's one, lack of visibility. They actually don't know what data is exchanged with whom and who accessed it. Then we have the fragmented tools. So they use different toolings like email, SFTP, web forms, which also then in combination with the lack of visibility creates this blind spots. And then also compliance headaches. Many companies need to comply to GDPR, to NIS2 now. EU Data Act was enforced later last year. So yeah, we help them with getting visibility, having one platform and not fragmented tools. They need to update and care about the security, and also help them to be compliant with numerous regulations in the European market.
Okay. And Ralph, then before they have this visibility, is it better to start having visibility with Kiteworks solutions, or you expect customers to come maybe with some having this visibility and then to come to Kiteworks for the solutions?
I mean,
Do you
many might
require any preparation from the customers?
actually not much. I mean, of course, we do qualification course on what they already have on solutions, if they have visibility. And like I said on my one slide, it's great if they have visibility through DSPM solutions, and then Kiteworks on top of that to really control what kind or what data can move out, and to have more visibility on the actual data exchange and not what kind of data they already have.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Then the next question is, how does Kiteworks compare to Microsoft SharePoint? Is it a replacement or is it a complementary as an extra security layer?
So it can actually be both. It can be complementary or a replacement. We see a lot of customers, they already have a SharePoint in place, but they might not be compliant because it sits in an OT environment and needs a replacement. But what we also do see, I mean, SharePoint is okay for internal collaboration and document management within the organization, but as soon as you want to exchange data with externals, you have a huge problem with controlling the data. Like who can access it, or who can access what data. So there, Kiteworks comes into place to control it and also to have more visibility around it. Because usually, SharePoint is not the only solution they use. They also have different channels, and then Kiteworks creates this umbrella around it. They can still use your SharePoint, but have this added layer of control around it.
Okay, so overall you look flexible.
Yeah, really flexible.
Thanks. Okay. And the last question, what does a typical implementation look like? I know that you presented in the very
Yeah.
last slide, so maybe the question was already answered, but then maybe you can pick, the most popular implementation.
Yeah, so I mean, I showed the slide with all the channels we currently have in Kiteworks and where we can put the PDN tool. But the thing is, usually a customer starts with one or two use cases. So they come either from email security, they need a solution because they need to comply with the regulation there. And then we can start with email security, and then later at Kiteworks, for example, for file sharing, or the other way around. They have the need for a secure file sharing solution, a compliant one, and then we start with that, and then add email security. Then they see, okay, we have web forms in our company that not really secure because maybe marketing used web form, WordPress with some web forms builder, and they need to be compliant with GDPR, for example. Then they use web forms. So we are really modular in how Kiteworks can be built. Yeah, from the get-go. So we start with one channel and then add others if needed.
Flexible again, so to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks, Ralph. That was it with the questions. If anyone has any more questions, again, feel free to reach out to Hermitage Solutions or Ralph itself, or visit the roadshow and use opportunity to meet them in person.